how's everybody doing? Okay, that only works if you've watched the 80 Years War series. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about the future of the channel. Now, I make community posts and I kind of keep people updated, and you can go to Instagram, Facebook, currently Blue Sky, or X Twitter, and I'll let you know stuff. And if you haven't done any of that, you just don't know. So, I just wanted to keep you guys updated. Now, you will hear by my voice, which is really deep and low and not very well at the moment, is that I had a pneumonia earlier this month. I was actually hospitalized for it because I couldn't breathe anymore, and that was a real thing, a real thing. That kind of means that I got super delayed in releasing my next series, New Amsterdam. Because I was already ill the week before. I was already not feeling well. I had gone to the Battle of Grollo at Groenlo, and I was going to be there for 2 days. I booked a hotel and everything. I woke up the next morning after spending a day at Groenlo, and I wasn't feeling well. So I'm like, well, you know what? I don't really think I'm going to do another day. So I headed home, and I kind of went to bed because I wasn't feeling well. And I was feeling less well as the week progressed. By the time it was Saturday, I called the emergency doctor's office, which is different from like an emergency number. That's the 911 of the Netherlands, which is 112. That's actually for all of Europe, or all of the European Union anyway. And I basically said, hey, I can't breathe. And they were like, we're sending an ambulance. I'm like, oh, okay. That's not what I was thinking about, but sure. So they sent a ambulance, came in with sirens and everything. I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, they were like, okay, lady, your blood pressure is really high and your heart rate's really high, and we can obviously tell you can't breathe. So we're taking you in. So I put oxygen on me and shoved me in the ambulance and took me to the hospital. And there they couldn't figure out for the next about 7 hours what was actually wrong. The lung photo didn't show anything. The scans of my heart didn't show anything, and some other organs that might be infected didn't show anything. But what was very clear from the blood is that there was a very severe infection. And so they were going to hospitalize me, but they had to figure out, where are we going to put you today? And they ended up putting me in the lung department because I was coughing my lungs out. Anyway, they stuffed me full of medication. They gave me antibiotics and everything. And after about 3 days, I went home. And, I got better, but my voice is still the way it is right now. So I don't really want to, do a lot. But I did want to do a little video for all those who don't read anything or are not subscribed to any of my Instagram, Twitter, all the things, I have another surgery planned that was supposed to happen at the end of July, but I moved house at the end of July. So we postponed it. It was going to then be the end of October. And then I had stomach issues, and the stomach issues are very severe, only when I ate the food that they told me to eat before the surgery. And now I had an appointment yesterday with the surgeon saying, I need to do more research. I'm going to order more tests because something is off. And I don't want to be surprised when I go into surgery and suddenly it turns out this and that and that's happening. So that's planned for December, for later in December. So anyway, I just wanted to keep you guys updated that everything has been very choppy over here. The move already delayed the next series a lot. And then all this stuff is happening, which delays it even more. Currently, I am at this moment, and I'm recording this on the 30th of November. I am rewriting the New Amsterdam series, or rewriting as in I have done all the research, I've put all the text together, and now I'm writing it. And I'm writing the script, and I'm currently at script 5 of what is currently 9, probably 8, might be 10, and I'll explain how this works. At the very end, the final episode includes 3 Anglo-Dutch wars. And so far, I kind of mention some battles, but I don't really go into any detail. And I might be tempted to do a little bit more there, or a little bit less, depending on how I'm doing this. So that's why it may or may not be 8, 9, or 10. I don't know yet. While I was kind of laid up, I went looking through some of my books. And I hadn't yet decided on the series after New Amsterdam. I kind of got an idea, but those projects were all very big, and I'm like, I need a smaller project, something that's just, 4 episodes or something, but still cool, right? And I found a book that I bought a while ago called The Wager by David Gran. He also wrote the book The Killers of the Flower Moon, which was turned into a movie by Scorsese and DiCaprio. And he wrote The Wager. It was released in 2023, and I think that I bought it around the same time when it was released because I thought, "Ooh, cool, another shipwreck story, yay!" And because it's one of the more popular, it's the most popular thing on my channel. The Kursk and the Batavia are the most popular series, but this one came up, and I saw it about a month ago, more than a month ago, and I went like, "Oh, pretty things." I wonder what it's about. So I just started reading and taking notes and kind of constructed a rough script and downloaded a whole bunch of other books and also the journals on which that book is based to read those, just like with Batavia. The Wager is a British man of war that was part of a squadron that was going to take on the Silver Fleet, the Spanish Silver Fleet, near Chile, and and it shipwrecked, and the crew tried to survive. It sank or at least shipwrecked in 1741, and it's just an interesting story. It's not too complicated, which is nice. David Gran's an excellent writer, I have to say. Many history books that I read are not well written. This is obviously a guy who knows how to write, and that does help. So that is also being made into a movie by Scorsese. Scorsese and DiCaprio bought the rights, and they're planning to make a movie of it. The reason I picked this story over any of the other ones is because of that. I would really like more people to watch the Batavia, of course, and more people to subscribe to my channel, of course. For those who watch the movie once it comes out, a version of the actual whole full story. Because, of course, a movie, let's say a 2-hour movie, or maybe 2.5-hour movie, wouldn't cover all the things that we need to talk about, right? It takes about 4 or 5 hours. And also, I don't do a lot of the drama that they would need. Because a lot of people have talked about this. Why isn't there a movie about the Batavia? It's a very difficult movie to make. Because it's a slasher flick, basically. It's a horror movie. The Wager is not as bloody, not nearly as bloody. So there you go, and that's kind of what's happening with the channel. There's a couple of other things happening, but they've all been put on hold. Another thing that is happening is a podcast. I've already made an account, and I've been working on the first series that I want to make into a podcast, which is the Batavia. Now, I'm actually re-recording the Batavia because I make a lot of errors concerning boatswain versus bosun and forecastle and forecastle and all that sort of stuff, technical terms that I didn't know before. And so that should be the first one. Also, I've already prepped, or at least started prepping, the 80 Years War. Dillinger is the only one that I can just plunk on there without having to worry about it. But the introductions in 80 Years War and Macbeth need to be altered. Same with Batavia. I obviously need to say that they are videos on YouTube because I would prefer people watch the videos rather than go to podcasting. But podcasting will reach a whole new audience, a much bigger audience compared to YouTube. I'm not going to stop making YouTube videos. But podcasting is something people have asked about. So the first thing I'm going to do is Batavia. I'm in the middle of re-recording it, but it's been halted because of the voice not working. I'm just trying to broaden the reach as much as possible. I floated the idea in one of the earlier community posts about whether to start, what do you call that? Shorts? Not a fan of it. It takes more work that I'm willing to spend on it. It just does. Another thing I do intend to do, and I've already set up my website and my server to do this, is a newsletter. And the newsletter will be like a monthly newsletter with just updates, like what I'm doing now. And it's for the real fans of the channel that really want to know. I'm also going to start up a Patreon or Patreon-like system with extra content, but that's not, again, it's been postponed a little bit because I kind of want to get New Amsterdam on the road first. So the future of the channel, it's not in the way uncertain as in nothing's going to happen. It's just uncertain when something's going to happen. So I'm hoping that you still enjoy all my other stuff and always do the liking and the commenting and the sharing. Particularly the sharing appears to be the thing right now with YouTube and the algorithm. On your Reddit, Facebook, wherever, you can share stuff, or Twitter or X, whatever. Let people know it exists. Let them know. And if you do want to support the channel financially, my website, which is both in Dutch and English, I have a Dutch site, defracthistory.nl. I have a website called defracthistory.com, which is the English one. And there is a donate button there for PayPal, if you have PayPal. And you can also donate via YouTube. You can buy a thanks. It's right where it says share or comment and all that. I think that's where it is. So if you want to buy thanks on YouTube for any video, be great. I use trailers as a way to keep YouTube quiet. When you don't post for 6 months, YouTube will take away monetization. Now, that is in itself not a problem for me, but it'll then put its own ads on, and it'll have mid-roll ads, as they're called. And mid-roll ads are the devil. Well, in my case, because I'm telling a very compelling story, and to have that be interrupted by an ad, I think is obnoxious, so I turn that off. So I want to keep the monetization going, and the way to do that, two things. One is to make a trailer, and that'll be a thing. But the unfortunate aspect of trailers is that they're only about a minute and a half long. And unfortunately, it tanks the channel again. YouTube gets very, like, I don't know what to do with this. So I decided for New Amsterdam not to make a trailer. I had started working on one, but I said, no, I'm not going to do this. It does mess up the algorithm even more. So for New Amsterdam, what I'm doing is I'm doing a special, a 20-minute video on the Pirates of New Amsterdam. That's my so-called quote-unquote trailer, because that'll introduce the series going forward. I'm also going to make a shorts channel. It already exists. It's called NL Roots. It'll be a channel with shorts explaining one short at a time, or one word at a time, words or people or inventions or anything that the Dutch have done. What have the Dutch done for you once upon a time? That's what it is. The word boss is a Dutch word. Cookie is a Dutch word. Yacht is a Dutch word. And inventions and things like that. Like, we're going to go to the microscope and things like that. It's just all the stuff that Dutch have sort of brought into the world. It's going to be shorts, but I will make like 10 shorts into a video, right? So that's how I'm going to do that. It is meant as a companion to New Amsterdam. That's all I really had to say. Just keep your eye on, I wouldn't expect a New Amsterdam episode until probably somewhere mid-January, end of January, something like that's probably when the first episode would land. And after that, the wager. After that, boy, I don't know. I can tell you what's on my board, if you're really eager, if you've listened all the way through. It says The Fair, which is Philip the Fair, the Fourth of France, and the Templars. The Narvaez expedition, which is the conquistadors that crash-landed in Florida and walked all the way to California to meet up with their buddies and had all kinds of adventures along the way. After that, the Hook and Cod Wars, which is something I'm really interested in learning. It is the prequel to the 80 Years' War. It's Dutch history, Hoekse Kabeljauwse Twisten. It's a 150-year period in which there were various conflicts, mainly concerning Holland and Zeeland, but also in the end spread into France and England and all the things. It kind of coincides with the 100 Years' War. And then 60, Empress Dowager 60. By the way, just one thing, last thing. I made a channel trailer 4 years ago, and it features like the plans that I had at that time. It's changed a little bit, and everybody that was surprised that I announced Dillinger, it was already in the trailer. 80 Years' War, and the very next thing was Dillinger. It was already set up. So I'm sorry that you didn't pick up on that, or that you never saw the channel trailer. It said it right there, and I'm that kind of a person. And that I've decided to do New Amsterdam had more to do with the fact that it was a bridge series between 80 Years' War and the DeWitt brothers, aka Anglo-Dutch Wars. You know, it's one of those things. So I'm sorry, but and I'm not because I already told you way at the beginning when I just started out and I hadn't even started the course yet. Um, what was happening? Laters.